Hi, this is Greg Johnson with resourcesforlife.com, and this is a brief video about apartment rentals in Iowa City. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are living inside of a factory. You have a cot set up there and you're living in the factory, and you're paying rent, okay? And you start to notice that it's really getting cold inside that factory. So you call up the owner of the factory and you say, hey, I'm living in your factory here, renting a space, and it's starting to get a little bit cold. The owner of the factory is probably going to say, increasing the temperature is just going to increase costs and cut into the profit margin. So we really can't increase that temperature. Okay, so a few days goes by and you start to notice there's water dripping, just dripping onto the floor and going into a drain. So you call this factory owner and you say, hey, I'm noticing that there's this water dripping and it's kind of bothering me. And the factory owner is going to say, well, it's not really doing any damage, so we're just going to have to let that go. We can't be putting money into this factory in a way that's not going to produce profits and returns, right? Well, the same really is true for people who are property owners and renting apartments in the Iowa City area. Now, I don't want to paint them as being only profit driven, but it's a business, okay? It's like any other business. This isn't, their part-time hobby, flower gardening or whatever. It's supposed to produce revenue, So the problem comes up, and you may have, let's say, I know of one property management company in Iowa City that has 1,300, I think, units and, apartments. So they have hundreds of people that they need to serve, and they have about 5 people doing the maintenance. There's no way they can keep up. So inevitably, requests for repairs and service get significantly delayed or ignored. And then the question is, what should happen? Should they hire a staff of, 50 people to do maintenance? That'd be expensive. It'd cut into the profits. The people who own the property, who pay the property managers, who in turn pay these maintenance people, all they're trying to do is keep their profits high. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, in Iowa City, you've got a huge population of students. And I've seen firsthand how students can get kind of wild, especially with rental properties, and really inflict some serious damage on properties over and over. I mean, even the same tenants can keep breaking things and smashing things. And I suppose the landlord can take the deposit, but it's an upward battle. You rent out an apartment and suddenly you've got hundreds of dollars in damages and wear and tear that are just making it a no-win situation. So while on the one hand you might be sentimental and supportive of the renters, at the same time you have to acknowledge that there is this problem of not just one or two, but like hundreds, maybe thousands of renters who have absolutely no regard for their apartment, So until the property owner and property manager and the maintenance team kind of realize that you're not just another group of 5 guys who are going to be, ordering kegs of beer and trashing out the apartment every weekend, until they realize that, they might not be very responsive to your requests for service and maintenance. And that's basically it. So, rather than getting frustrated with the situation, realize that the property owners are in a tight situation. All they're trying to do is make some money. Obviously, it's a business. At the same time, they're dealing with these renters who are really, a lot of them just going to trash out these apartments. Going to need new carpet, going to need new walls, people are punching holes in walls, breaking doors, kicking out screens and windows. It's a mess. So I guess on the one hand, I've been a little disappointed to, as a renter, experience the delays in service initially. I also at the same time realize, they're in a tight corner there, because you can't be just like running out willy-nilly helping every person that has a little problem, and then like it's going to happen all over again a week later. There's, just as another example, which is kind of similar to this, there's a pizza place downtown, and they had their window smashed in, which is probably going to cost them like hundreds of dollars to get fixed. They fixed it. Okay. Then, like a few days later, the door got smashed in. Well, as you might imagine, they're not going to be very quick to fix the door. It's like, what do? Every weekend you've got these drunk people out here kicking glass windows and doors in. Well, the same thing's true then for these property owners and property managers. You've got people trashing things, no regard for personal property or public property or whatever. Vandalizing in the streets as well as vandalizing in their own apartments. So, I would imagine over years and years and years of seeing this kind of behavior, the enthusiasm for customer service has dwindled a bit, So my advice to anybody who's renting in downtown Iowa City, or really anywhere in Iowa City where there's a high student population, is to, really as quickly as possible get on good terms with your landlord, or again, it's usually the property owner, the property manager, and the maintenance person. Sometimes that's all the same person, sometimes it's 3 different organizations. But yeah, get into their good graces, get on a first name basis, because otherwise you're just going to be perceived as one of just another of the horde of people that come into town to trash out the properties and the downtown area. And they'll do what's necessary by the law. If there's something that's an electrical hazard or a fire hazard or water damage, they're going to take care of that. But otherwise they're not going to do you any favors unless they realize, oh, okay, this is just a normal person. They're not going to be having kegger beer parties every weekend and throwing things out the windows. If they realize that you're just a normal person, then they'll give you some service. But anyway, I'm starting to get redundant here, so hope everybody's having a good day, and that's it for now. Take care.